Hello and welcome very much to a new SSCHNITTLABOR video. Today this is going to be again about the Sony RX10 Mark IV. We already have a complete playlist in your top right corner that you can click, but today we want to focus especially on video creation. So we want to find out if the Sony RX10 Mark IV is probably the best video camera, or let's say the best affordable video camera on the market today. And maybe, besides the fact that it can only record up to maximum 30 minutes and then you have to kind of stop and restart, this camera is even more useful as a video camera instead of just a photo camera, or even both. To be honest, we got inspired by a video of Michael the Maven, which is called Sony's 5 Top Killer Features, which actually you can also check out there. But other than this video, we want to get in a little bit greater detail. The first point which Michael mentions in reference to all the positive points of Sony cameras is of course the sensor design. Also, the RX10 Mark IV is equipped with a backside illuminated sensor, which leads to excellent ISO performance and also excellent dynamic range. Due to its smaller sensor size comparing to the upper most professional Sony camera range, it has even a great advantage comparing to those larger sensors, which is the speed of reading out information from the sensor. When it comes to shooting photos in a row, the brand new A7R Mark III provides up to 10 frames per second. The also still quite recent Sony A9 is even twice as fast with 20 frames per second. But as I said already, the RX10 Mark IV beats them all. Here you can shoot up to 24 frames per second. This gives a movie-like experience shooting photographs, and you can shoot up to 240 photos at an incredible 5K resolution. By the way, Sony's professional upgraded A-mount camera body, the A99 Mark II, is located somewhere between the A7R Mark III and the A9 by offering 12 frames per second at full frame resolution. The second point Michael is mentioning in reference to especially video creation is video oversampling. And here actually I don't really agree with him. I mean, yes, video oversampling means incredible sharpness. There is neither line skipping nor pixel binning. But let me ask you seriously, is video oversampling really needed? What the RX10 Mark IV as well as the former RX10 Mark III provides is a full pixel readout. Since the 1-inch sensor has a higher resolution than needed for 4K, Sony is just cropping in a little bit in video mode to have the sharp full 4K resolution. With this excellent sensor inside the Sony RX10 Mark IV, I think this is really the best they could do with this machine. Other cameras of the Sony lineup, like for example the Aps-c sensor-based A6500, offers video oversampling from 6K to 4K. Same also with the full-frame sensor of the A9. Both sensors, even though they're different in size, one is an Aps-c and the other one a full-frame sensor, have the same 24 million pixel resolution. So both of these cameras are capable to downscale originally recorded videos from 6000 times 3376 pixel to 4K resolution at 3840 to 2160. But in the end, what comes out of these cameras is a 4K resolution video. So now you could wonder, well, maybe this is going to lead to the best video quality, but not so. The brand new A7R Mark III with a full frame 42 megapixel sensor is only offering a video oversampling from 5K to 4K, not from 6K to 4K. Same also with the A99 Mark II. But to be honest, do you think the video quality of the A7R Mark III is going to be worse than the quality of the A6500? On the other hand, also, the A7R Mark III, same as the A7R Mark II before, offers 2 video modes. One, you can use video oversampling, which probably leads in best picture quality. But on the other hand, you can also use these machines in Super 35mm mode. When you use the Super 35mm mode on the A7R Mark III, for example, then you have less rolling shutter. And to be honest, when I was working with the A7R Mark II, I always preferred the Super 35mm mode over the video oversampling mode. In Super 35, the camera is doing a 1:1 pixel readout. The RX10 Mark IV already contains a whole set of lenses from 24mm to 600mm, and therefore it is kind of sure that no humidity, no dust is going to enter between the lens and the sensor. And therefore I think price-wise as well as flexibility-wise, the RX10 Mark IV is kind of unbeatable comparing to those other camera bodies. Another advantage of the RX10 Mark IV is that because of its smaller sensor size, it's a 1-inch sensor, you have even faster readout times in reference to the very video image. That's why also with the RX10 Mark IV, the HFR modes have become possible. You can record video sequences up to a duration of 4 seconds in picture quality preference mode with up to 1000 frames per second. This is really interesting for experimental video creation. Since it has a shutter speed of 1/30,000th of a second, you can really try to manage freezing time in a certain way. You'll find some examples in the playlist up here. No other of these camera bodies, not even the A6500 with the APS-c sensor, offers such a possibility. The third point mentioned in the top 5 killer features video is the eye autofocus. Yes, of course, the eye autofocus is not really usable for the video mode, but in photo mode. But since you may remember, I already mentioned that the RX10 Mark IV offers a picture burst mode with up to 24 pictures per second. Then eye autofocus becomes really interesting. And this eye autofocus is available even in this bridge camera, as I was already mentioning, same as with all the professional lineup. Together with its powerful tele lens, it also offers very interesting depth of field effect possibilities. I mean, of course, the A7R Mark III beats the RX10 Mark IV in terms of resolution. Resolution in this full-frame camera is twice as high as with the RX10 Mark IV. But when I was working with the A7R Mark II, I wasn't always working with the highest resolution while shooting photographs, because you just create such a large amount of data and not always you want to print out images at a beyond normal resolution. On the other hand, the full-frame sensor camera A9 as well as the A6500 with the APS-c sensor have a resolution of 24 million pixels, which is already very close to what the RX10 Mark IV can do with its 1-inch sensor. Next point, which is really important in context with video creation, is the new dramatically improved autofocus functions of the RX10 Mark IV. I think the focus follow functions, like face tracking for example, they are very close to the Panasonics, for example, with their Micro Four Third sensor technology. And also Michael in his video mentions that, according to his opinion, the Sony focus is as good as the famous Canon dual pixel readout autofocus. And this excellent autofocus and very fast one is also existing in the RX10 Mark IV. This lightning fast focus for me was the reason to change immediately from RX10 Mark III to RX10 Mark IV. Compression wise, all the new Sony lineup offers the very powerful XAVCS compression with up to 100 megabit per second at 120 frames per second at least full HD resolution. This great advantage with the Sony autofocus lenses is actually only really relevant when you also have a very professional lineup of Sony lenses connected to your interchangeable lens camera. With the RX10 Mark IV, all lenses are, as I already mentioned, included. You won't have any issues connecting your lenses. And as you can see, the video right now is already the best example. By the way, we only recorded it in HD quality, since it's mostly a talking head video. The fifth and last point to mention is the fantastic Sony picture profiles. There is also a video available in reference to this topic. Here, for example, I'm using the portrait picture profile. Those picture profiles are not only available for video shootings, but also when you do photographs in RAW quality. In the end, I want to add some points which you don't find in Michael's video. One of the main selling points of the A7R Mark III was that it had the capability to also record videos in HDR quality. This really makes the A7R Mark III stand out from the traditional Sony camera line. But on the other hand, you can record videos at the picture profiles S-Log2 or S-Log3 even with the RX10 Mark IV. And I'm actually not sure if HDR video function is then still really needed. The new display of the RX10 Mark IV offers the possibility to drag your focus point. The optical steady shot allows you to do photographs at a 4.5 steps faster shutter speed. By the way, I did some video on the steady shot functions of the RX10 Mark IV in this link up here. Then some people complain that the RX10 Mark IV, comparing to some of the concurrence models, does not allow to tilt the monitor forward, so you could not really work in selfie mode. But with the available Playmemories Mobile App, you can just position your screen anywhere you like in space. With the Sony Playmemories Mobile App, have access to the most important video functions. It allows you to get a decent preview of the video which you're going to record. The one negative point about video creation with the RX10 Mark IV that comes to my mind: the possibility to install apps is gone. For this reason also, you don't have any time-lapse app anymore. What they could have been doing is installing the new SSCHNITTLABOR menu, which at that time when the camera came out was already available with the Sony A9. I think they were trying to trick us and make us wait for the next generation RX10 Mark V, which then, I personally am sure, is going to be equipped with the SSCHNITTLABOR menu too. It is also available with the A6500, for example. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please also, in the comments, tell me what do you think about the new style of SSCHNITTLABOR, because we added so many new elements, like the time-lapses and the travel videos, for example. What do you think about it? Because the topics, they start to be very widespread. On the other hand, I think I stay most authentic if I really always produce what's most interesting to me in that very moment. If you like the video, please present us a like and hit the subscribe button. All very best wishes and see you soon.